So ahead of the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo has shared a ton of new features which will impact Animal Crossing players, and some of these are really exciting. For a start, in case you missed it, Nintendo released a massive update on the Nintendo Switch last week. This was to make some improvements and add some new features which would connect it more with the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2. So you can actually check this update out for yourself now and see how they affect you as an Animal Crossing player. For a start, you might notice a new section at the bottom of the Nintendo Switch has been added for Game Share, where you can accept an invitation from a Nintendo Switch 2 user to allow you to play the game with them. This will work with certain compatible Nintendo Switch games. I'm imagining New Horizons will be one of them. I haven't seen them mention anything about why it wouldn't, so this would be an easier way of playing locally with other players, perhaps someone in your family or such. We will have to wait for the Nintendo Switch 2 to actually release before we can do this, but I definitely think it's a neat little idea, and I'm sure this will be used with the next Animal Crossing game as well, which is definitely something to think about. They've also added an entire new section for virtual game cards, which as a concept kind of confuses me, but there is one really cool part of virtual game cards. If you did get New Horizons as a virtual game, like I did for some reason, I kind of regret that still, I'm not gonna lie, you can actually lend New Horizons to a family group member. If there is someone who's in your Nintendo Switch family, then you can lend the game to them for up to 14 days. Now, that is a bit of a shame in my opinion, as of course if you had an actual game card, you could just lend it for however long you wanted. But it's still kind of a neat way of giving them a trial of a game. Perhaps maybe you've got a family member who has been thinking about getting New Horizons but actually hasn't gotten around to buying it, so this could be a neat way of converting people into playing Animal Crossing, which is kind of fun. I know that 14 days isn't very long, but one other cool thing to mention is that you can just lend it to them again and they won't lose their save data. So the save data will remain. They won't lose all of that just after it returns, which is really good because that would be so disappointing if it did. I think a lot of people wouldn't really want to use this feature if that were the case, so I'm glad Nintendo thought about that. Now, a really big essential one if you are planning on getting a Nintendo Switch 2 is they have added a new option now in the settings menu where you can transfer over your console to Nintendo Switch 2. This will bring over basically everything, leaving your original Nintendo Switch bare if you want to bring all of your save data and such and progress over to Nintendo Switch 2. So Nintendo has already confirmed that we will be able to keep our Animal Crossing New Horizons islands, and this is exactly how we do it. But they did mention that you will not be able to keep your island on both the original Switch and the Switch 2. If you transfer over your island to Switch 2, it'll be erased from the original Switch, so you can't make like a clone of your island. I'm really glad that it will be so easy to send our New Horizons islands over to the new console. It means we won't have to leave them behind on the original Switch. One thing to note though that's really important is you will need to keep your original Nintendo Switch if you want to transfer over everything using this method. I know some people are planning on trading in or selling their original Switch for when the Switch 2 comes out, so if you did that, you wouldn't be able to use this option. Thankfully though, Nintendo has introduced a really cool, useful new feature, as you actually have the option to send everything to the cloud, including your Animal Crossing island. So if you're planning on selling your Switch or trading it in, then this option is definitely for you and you won't have to lose everything. One thing that's worth noting though is if you do this cloud option, it will factory reset your Nintendo Switch to its original settings. So perhaps don't do that right up until you're ready to sell your original console. They'll store all of your data on their servers for up to a year, so you have plenty of time to get the Switch 2 and keep all your data safe if you are planning on getting rid of your original console. I definitely thought this was all really important to mention, as of course our Animal Crossing islands are just so precious to us and we don't want to lose them or have to leave them behind. So I'm really glad that they are giving us all of these options to make the transition between the old console and the new one easy. I do understand that for a lot of you, you aren't planning on getting a Nintendo Switch 2 until we get a new Animal Crossing game, but it's good to know that when eventually you do, or if you do, you will have the option to bring over your New Horizons Island 2 completely intact. Also, just yesterday on the Nintendo Today app, Nintendo gave us a look at all of the new default icons for the Switch 2, which includes a whole bunch of new Animal Crossing icons that you'll be able to use on the new console. You won't have to do anything to unlock these like some of the Switch Online icons, you can just have these from the get-go. I believe everything from the butterfly onwards is completely new. So in total we have 12 new icons to get our hands on, which is really cool, as well as all of the existing ones from the original Nintendo Switch, so definitely some treats there for Animal Crossing fans. Now, some other important details for Animal Crossing players. Nintendo has mentioned that the Nintendo Switch Online app, which contains Nook Link, a really useful feature for Animal Crossing players, which is actually directly connected with New Horizons, and has a bunch of really cool features like the island newspaper, the keyboard to type easily in-game, and the ability to use reactions, as well as some special items too, will be getting an update for Switch 2. This will be rebranded to the Nintendo Switch app, and Nook Link thankfully will still be a part of it. Nintendo has confirmed that within the latest Nintendo newspaper. So that's incredibly good news that this app isn't going anywhere, and we'll still be able to take advantage of all the features if we play Animal Crossing New Horizons on the original Switch, or if we play it on Switch 2 as well. A lot of people don't seemingly know about Nook Link, so this might be a great time to get it for the first time. You're definitely missing out on a lot of really cool features if you don't have it already. Trust me, it's the perfect companion for New Horizons. I really love the fact that there are some exclusive items in here you can actually redeem. That is so incredibly useful, so I really love using Nook Link, and I'm glad that it's sticking around for the Switch 2 era as well. They've also confirmed a new feature which I know a lot of you will be very happy about. You will now be able to, if you have a Nintendo Switch 2, directly send your photos to the Nook Link app. So you won't have to do any crazy things where you scan a QR code on your Nintendo Switch just to get them on your phone. You'll be able to directly have them in the Nintendo Switch Online app, aka the Nintendo Switch app, and download them straight from your phone right away with no hassle. So it's going to be really easy to share our screenshots and videos of New Horizons over on Switch 2. Animal Crossing players were probably the top demographic for using this feature and sharing their images online, given the whole game's based around designing. So it's so great that we will be able to do that with ease in this new era. I've always kind of found the methods to be overly complicated, scanning in the QR code. Of course, in the past you could share them to social media, but Nintendo took that connection away. So I'm really glad now there'll be much better ways, simplified ways, of getting our screenshots and videos directly onto our phones so we can do whatever we want with them from that point. So yeah, it's definitely really cool to see some of these new updates and features. Even if you aren't planning on getting a Nintendo Switch 2, there's still some things in here which involve the original Switch as well, which is great. So make sure to download that latest Nintendo Switch update, and I'll let you know about any other new feature updates or changes that you should know about which affect you as an Animal Crossing player. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to comment Bob's Gang so I know you did. If you enjoyed, leave a like and make sure to subscribe and turn on channel notifications for more Animal Crossing videos and news.